That's how an elephant disappears. Turn a bit more. Always lovely to look at anything really on this area, Quarantine. It's such a lovely area or setting. Look at the big trees around us and all that kind of thing. Patrick, sorry, I'm struggling to hear you properly. The radio is breaking up a lot there, but some of the comments coming through just there. Yeah, no, definitely. Lieschen and I will be back to visit at some stage or another and do a few drives. A little bit down the line, perhaps. We're going to have a bunch of things to be doing the next while in Namibia. Oh, that's a nice view, actually. More clouds building in the background. Nice big trees around us. So I'm just going to turn around quickly. Spend a few more minutes with him. He's found another marula tree, so he might stay there for a bit. Big enough elephant, Lieschen. Could you get that name that Claire was giving?
R-I-L-G-G-E-D, but I think I don't
Rugged, maybe rugged ears.
rugged,
Yeah. Thanks, Claire. Sorry, just with the radio, we're struggling a little bit, but Claire's saying she's calling him rugged ears. I quite like that, actually. He does have very rugged ears. Quite a rugged elephant as well. Quite a big guy. It's always difficult for me to judge ages exactly, but I'd say in his mid-30s already. Possibly even, maybe not late 30s yet, but let's say he'll be a year or two older than I am. Perhaps we'll leave him now. We've had some nice time with him. He came right up to us. I was actually sort of sitting next to the car here to get nice and low, and he's just looking at us. A very nice, relaxed elephant. Perhaps we'll start with a little drive down towards Treehouse Dam. Check some of the waterholes. I'm hoping to maybe catch more elephants at waterholes. This time of year there's normally quite a lot of elephant activity, as I'm sure you've seen the last week or two, because of the marulas. Start there and then we'll come back into this area again after the drives are out. Start looking for those young boy leopards. There's the guy. It's a nice start. Got a bit of a soft spot for elephants as well, Lieschen. Brian, I'll certainly show you marula fruit. Sorry, I should have actually picked one up there when we were sitting with an elephant, or with an elephant eating it. But Brian's just asking how hard is it, sort of a bit more about the fruit itself. Probably about 80%, 90% of the fruits that the elephants eat are quite hard. They tend to be just slightly on the green side when they drop off the trees. And then they're quite firm still. Once they become, let's say, 80-90% ripe, they go like a yellowish color. And then they what to compare it to, Lieschen? It's quite a firm fruit. It's like maybe like a just an off-ripe peach. In other words, a peach that's not quite ripe yet, but it's got that bit of a squashiness. The skin is relatively thick. It's part of the mango family. So Brian, if you're familiar with mangoes, especially some of your smaller wild mangoes, it's got very much that texture if you sort of press the fruit. It's obviously a bit smaller. It's about the size of a golf ball. But when they're green, in other words, about 50% of the fruits that fall down when they're still very green, they're about as soft as a golf ball. In other words, not very soft. But it's partly because the skin is quite strong. Once they squash it, the elephants typically they just give it 1 or 2 bites, just enough to squash the fruit. They don't even always squash them. And that gets the majority of the the sugars and the juices out that they want. But I'll look forward now as we drive along, and I'll show you a good example if I can find a nice sort of. I'll try and find a green and a ripe one. And then Sharon's asking, what are we going to be doing in Namibia? It's a big question, Alicia. We're going to be doing lots of things in Namibia. But we'll tell you more about them. Like get married. That's one of the things we're going to do in Namibia. We're going to get married on the 8th of May, which is, what is that about, Lieschen? Yesterday was 12 weeks, huh?
It's 12 weeks today.
Yeah. 12 weeks today, yes, of course, it's Saturday. Being married in Namibia. Oh, that's big thunder. Hey, little warthog running across the road. Let's try and see them. They might not stick around. No, they're gone. Oh, there they are. Nice. There we go. Vlakvark in Afrikaans. Pig of the plains, or pig of the savannah. Smart animals actually, warthogs, they're quite intelligent. We don't tend to see them that often around here because the grass is so tall and because there's not that many of them. And they tend to be a bit skittish, but they can become very relaxed. In fact, warthogs in many game reserves around camps and so on, they become so comfortable with even human presence there that they tend to feed on the lawns and hang around the lodge areas quite often, but not so here. Maybe I spoke too soon in the beginning of the drive and I said it won't rain this afternoon. It might, huh? We've got thunder not far from us now and big clouds building. This will be nice. Can we try and show that on the camera, that cloud, the head of that cloud? So it's all the way on the other side. The warthogs may be looking at it as well. The sort of the upper bit. That if you go in now, yeah, about there, a little bit right, down a little bit out. Sorry to mess with you, but if you look at that, the darker cloud that sort of looks like an eye there in the middle, right in the middle of the screen. But where that darker cloud is edged against the lighter cloud in the background, look at that edge. And unfortunately, it's not as clear on the. It's more maybe like that. Yeah, it's more difficult with the camera to see it because both clouds are growing, both the white and the darker one. But with the naked eye, you can actually see the edges of that cloud expanding. Obviously, because it is so very hot down here on the ground, it's there's a lot of hot air rising, and that's causing more condensation. The higher up it pushes that moisture. Warthogs run off. He wasn't that interested in clouds. So yeah, Sharon, I think we'll be over the next weeks or so. We'll touch on it every now and again. We'll have a couple of specific fireside chats and so on as well. But for starters, we're going to be doing. We're going to look after a lodge for a little while. Same place we're going to get married at, so quite a nice place. And there's a bunch of other things going on in Namibia. And there'll be a bunch of new things going on there as well over the next while. So I can't preempt too many of them. But we'll keep you updated with it. We'll certainly share how and where possible what we're up to.